And welcome back to This is the USHL, our inaugural run with This is the USHL. Bernie Corbett, Paul McNamara, glad you could join us. And we are very pleased to be joined now. We're going to have an opportunity to catch up with the commissioner, Skip Prince, the USHL president and commissioner. Our guest, Skip, welcome, and great opportunity to be working with the USHL. I think we're going to have a very auspicious season.
Well, I think it's going to be the best season of the league yet. Bernie, welcome. Hello to all of you and all your fans there. I'm glad to have the opportunity to kind of help the world discover, to the extent it doesn't know it already, just what we're up to here at the United States Hockey League.
Skip, I don't know if any hockey fan doesn't know what you guys are up to.
They're not paying attention if they haven't. We have to spread the gospel.
Well, I appreciate that. We're working at it. I think I've been here just a little under 2 years at this point, and I think it was clear when we got here that we had something special. It did need a little bit more attention to some of the business elements, to expansion, to all of the pieces of the puzzle that are so necessary for a league that has this many moving parts to work. But I think we're beginning to see the results. And it was built on a great foundation that Gino Gasparini, who every college hockey fan knows as well, and his crew put together. So we're proud and privileged to take it forward.
And you talk about taking the league forward, Skip, and that's exactly what your initiative has been this season. The growth and expansion of the league. You've gone into 2 new markets and with great success here in the early going.
I think both of them are showing that quality personnel, both in the office and quality personnel behind the bench, good, solid recruiting, and the telling of our story yields very good players on the ice. And both the Muskegon Lumberjacks in Muskegon, the first team that we've had in the Michigan area in the new USHL, other than the National Development Program, of course, and the return of Dubuque, the Fighting Saints, being a great name with a great history in the league, returning with Jim Montgomery, have both proven themselves to be really good teams, fast on the ice, very skilled. Both of them are a little younger than the standard teams because they went out and got players at that level, and they're showing that the USHL is very competitive, top to bottom in both of the divisions.
The fact that the league has now been realigned with USA Hockey and the National Development Program in Ann Arbor is really a plus when you think of the overall perspective of development of the U.S. hockey player.
I think it was critical for both of us. From our standpoint, it was necessary for us, I think, on behalf of USA Hockey, to have all the players recognize that there aren't just 22 17 and 22 18-year-old spots available for the elite hockey players in North America and increasingly the world, but there are 16 teams, of which the NTDP is a very proud member, that are carrying the banner forward for the USA Hockey situation. In turn, the NTDP and its players really did need the quality of competition that the USHL brings night after night and weekend after weekend. And I think it's been proven with their successes both on the ice and in the tournaments that they play in, as well as with us, that the competition over the course of the season makes for better hockey players. We couldn't be prouder to have them in our midst.
You mentioned about representing the country, and the World Junior A Challenge is looming in Woodridge, Illinois, and an opportunity for the representatives for the United States there. And I know you're quite happy about, in Penticton, British Columbia, and I know you're really happy about the fact that the USHL exclusively makes up the squad, not only on the ice, but as we've discussed, behind the bench with the coaching staff.
We think the coaching staff and the team that we've brought forward is our best yet. We're proud to carry the United States flag into Canada. We've had the combination of good fortune and good play to have won 2 straight gold medals under Mark Carlson of the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders. This year, P.K. O'Hanley is the head coach with participation from 2 of our other coaches, and that's going to be a great tournament. It is probably the most watched junior tournament by the NHL coaches prior to January 1st, and for us, therefore, it's an opportunity for our young men to show their stuff. we look forward to it every year, and I think this one's going to be a very good tournament.
Skip, for those that don't know, who are the other teams who are the other countries that will be represented at that tournament in Penticton?
There will be 3 Canadian teams. There'll be a Swedish team, a Russian team, I believe a Czech. I don't know the final wrap. We've been so busy making sure that our team was complete, that we got them off in style, that we, that because for us, these are the very best players in the league, and they will miss, in some cases, not 1 or 2, but 3 weekends in order to play here. So
right.
It's been it's a labor of love, but it is a labor. And I must tell you, what I think I probably like what PK has told all the players. Doesn't matter who you're playing, just put your hat on and get ready to play them tough. But I do know that the 3 teams that generally are the teams that we focus on, though you can never count out any of the Europeans, are that Canada actually puts a team from each of its regions, the Central, the West, and the East in this tournament. So there's a lot of red and white there, and not nearly enough red, white, and blue. We think we'll have to hold our own.
Yeah, and those are the traditional strongholds in Canada as well. The Western Junior, the Ontario Major Junior, and the Quebec Major Junior, and they're certainly as tough a competition as anybody can get.
They are, and it gives our players an opportunity to taste the international flavor of the game. Many of them, I mean, I think it's fair to say that at this elite level, these young men are not novices to international play. Most of them have played from peewees on in various international tournaments, but this is the first time many of them are really beginning to find they're finding their shots, they're finding their legs. This is that crossroads age group for all of them. So all of a sudden, kids that were 5'7" 2 years ago are 6'1", and they're beginning to feel their strength and their size and what kind of a hockey player they're going to become. So it's a critical tournament. It's one of the reasons that the NHL coaches are so and scouts are so interested in it. It benchmarks the players going forward, and for many of them, it is the first extended opportunity that the scouts will have had to see the players. So we look to that as being a great opportunity for them. But we also look just forward to the opportunity to have those young men wearing the stars and stripes on their sweaters. It's something they never forget.
You mentioned about the NHL attention, the emphasis and significance of this tournament, Skip, and I also want to point out that the USHL has really developed in a couple of different directions very, very prominently, not only as a college feeder, but as a route to the NHL. The case in point, the number of NHL players currently who have taken the USHL route, often through the college ranks, and then now on to the NHL. That's become a very natural track to success.
It's part of what we emphasize, I think, very much more straightforwardly than we have in the past. I think everyone has always known that if you wanted to go to play in the NCAA and play Division I hockey, the USHL was certainly the best finishing school for that anywhere in the world. But I think it's only now becoming recognized that it is as clean, clear, and successful a route to the National Hockey League if you have the skill set. The additional advantage that we have that none of the other leagues has in junior hockey, none of the other routes to the National Hockey League, is that we give you the opportunity to develop in school for those 1, 2, 3, or 4 years that you might be playing at the NCAA level, giving you the opportunity to get stronger, get smarter on the ice, get the opportunity to become the very best player that you can be, and then make the jump. There's nothing worse than someone who jumps too soon and finds that his opportunity is past. We teach patience not simply on the ice and not simply on the power play, but in your career and in your life. And we think it's a powerful tool for the young man who goes into the NCAA playing that quality of hockey and knowing that he's getting better on ice, better off ice, getting the opportunity to get stronger, and waiting for that chance to get to the National League if it's in it for him.
I know a big part of your initiative currently is the USHL player development, which you've alluded to, and so important to provide the information and the background that these kids need at a very, very young, impressionable age, not only about hockey, but about beyond the ice, in the classroom, and also as a point of parental education, which is so critical at that stage. That's something that's really needed.
Well, Bernie, you put your finger on it. I think what we have learned over the last couple of years, we in-housed our player development last year, and we're finding that it's necessary for us to get out to talk to these young men and their parents at an earlier age than has ever been the case before. This league and most juniors have really focused, by the time you got to midget majors, we're now recognizing that it's a midget minor and bantam target that we have to talk to, because this is the point at which they're being recruited by other leagues. It's the point at which they're separating themselves from a talent as well as from a size standpoint from most of their peers, and it's critical at that point to talk to their parents and tell them this is a very critical time for all of them. They've been the best in class up till now, but from that 15, 16, 17, 18, these are the growth years, and you have to make sure that you attend to every part of the young man's athletic, academic education. If you don't do that, then they become an incomplete player and an incomplete young man, which really ends up limiting their chances going forward. And the whole point here is to give them every opportunity that they can to go any direction that they'd like.
Well, Skip, it's certainly been enjoyable talking to you. And one last point I wanted to make was that our Player of the Week here, our CCM Player of the Week at Pure Hockey on Campus, this will hit the twings, the pangs of your heart in a good way. Our Player of the Week was from Yale this week. A young man named Denny Kearney, who all he did was have 4 goals and 4 assists in 2 games over the weekend. So,
well, we're going to have him play regular shifts then, won't we?
Yeah, he's a man in need of some ice time, Skip. Very good
observation.
observation.
He needs some ice time. Well, they run a great program there. I think we have 8 young men in the Yale program from the USHL at this point. It's a point of pride for us that we can be providing players across the board at all levels, but that the Ivy League, from the standpoint of the academic achievement of these young men, I think we have either 15 or 18 players from last year that made the teams, the Ivy League teams. It takes a special caliber of player. It takes a special level of commitment to make it. So we're proud of all of them, but it's good to hear that the Bulldogs did well this week.
Yeah, they're off to a good start.
Great
They're one of 4 undefeated teams in Division I college hockey. So,
and of course, we'll see Coach Elaine in the World Juniors leading that team. We've already spoken to him several times, and we hope that several of our players currently on our rosters, and certainly a number of them that are in college and formerly are on our rosters, will be part of that World Juniors team.
And we look forward to that.
Well, Skip, we're off and running in our partnership with the USHL, and we look forward to a great year learning more about the league and bringing that news to everybody who has been a fan of pure hockey on campus, but who's also a fan of the USHL.
Well, the nature of this sport, as you know, and certainly the nature of our effort, is to have good partners. We're delighted and very privileged to have you guys, so we're looking forward to visiting with you regularly over the course of the season.
Sounds great. Skip Prince, Commissioner and President of the USHL. We'll speak with you next week.